Greetings, gentle viewers.
And howdy, howdy.
I suppose we're going to be wrapping up the trial, then.
I don't especially want to, considering what it means we're going to have to do, but finding the truth was never promised to be a fun, joyful experience.
It is, however, true.
The truth is true. Very wise.
Oh, I know that sounds silly. I just mean that I don't like ideas that are based on lies, and I don't like lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think people shouldn't lie to themselves, no matter what it's about. So there. Anyway.
Speaking of lying to ourselves, we're the Bittersweet Gamers?
I'm the opinionator.
Are you, though? Are you really?
No, I'm the iginator. Come on.
And I'm we or ig squared. Pick your poison.
What is more poisonous? A we or an ig?
The hell's an ig?
Irritatingly genuine gamers, remember? God, you have no memory anymore.
I must have hit my head too many times. Oh, I hear a noise over there. I'm going to go investigate by myself. I'll be right back, guys.
Guess it's just gonna be me today.
Ah!
Okay, one last thing. I had completely forgotten the way the trial started. The trial starts with Kokichi saying, so what happens if there's a tie?
Oh, yeah.
For who the first place killer is. And Monokuma was like, as long as one of them's the blackened, it's fine. Because this time around, I imagine it's important.
Yeah.
If 4 people vote for Kokichi,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 people vote for Gonta, what is Shuichi going to have to do?
Oh, man.
You have to vote for Gonta.
Oh, God, we better have some way of knowing who's voting for whom.
That's what the point is to argue it. And, well, that's what we'll be doing today, to try to convince everybody that Gonta did it.
Didn't even remember it.
It's not fair, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And we'll never really know how it happened. Not unless we had a flashback light.
Yeah.
Which, didn't we not use it this chapter?
No, we...
I just don't remember.
I don't remember... Maybe we need a flashback light.
Yeah, clearly! And I was complaining about Billy's memory problems. But with a flashback light Kokichi might tell us the truth.
That's the problem. We can't be sure.
Anyway, here we go. When we logged into the virtual world, an avatar user error occurred. Whether it occurred because Gonta messed up or because it was done to him.
I don't think Gonta would mess with the cables. Shouldn't they have already been set up ahead of time?
Well, you had to plug them in.
I thought they were already pre-plugged, but then I guess there would be no point in going over which cable goes in where. Okay, fair enough.
Some sort of avatar user error occurred when you all logged in for the first time.
An error?
The contents of the error are unknown, so I can't provide any details, but something strange definitely happened to someone's avatar when you all logged in.
An avatar user error?
Bah, Neo World program not even having an error log.
Ever since Gonta logged out, he's been saying, I don't know, I don't understand.
That's because Gonta doesn't understand the virtual world, right?
That's an easy assumption to make, but in this case...
It makes sense that would be the case, and even we just blew it off like that this whole time.
Yeah.
Until we realized.
That's what I thought at first, but I think it's because of the error. What you mean?
If that error is what's affecting Gonta, and it's making him forgetful and loopy, then what was the error? What could it have been?
Device settings? Oh.
A cord? C-O-R-D at the end?
Memory cord. And...
That's it? Okay. Oh, man, we just started, for goodness sake. I'm all like, what am do?
How button works?
Come on, where's the Y? There's the Y. S.
Memory slot?
I mean, we have O and R and S and L. Sprawl?
No?
Lost.
Memory loss. Okay, there we go.
Sprawl.
I see now.
Straightforward.
How fitting.
I believe it's possible
wow!
that Gonta doesn't remember what happened in the virtual world.
It's like we planned that, but it really was just a coincidence. We just said it.
Huh? He doesn't remember.
You started saying, I don't know anything, after leaving the virtual world. I think that's the result of some kind of memory error.
Oh, that's why he doesn't remember anything that happened in the virtual world. Not even killing Mew.
What? That's ridiculous! Quit screwing around!
Stop! We're getting to this. Stop riling everyone up.
This isn't helping.
Well, I mean, of course it's not helping. It's Kokichi.
Oh, well, I mean, I was talking about Kaito.
Well, yeah, that.
You can't really stop Kokichi from riling everybody up, and I guess in some ways, Kaito's the same. You can't stop him either.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. It doesn't mean you want it to happen, and I have no idea why it happened. Like we said last time, I absolutely believe that if Gonta knew he did it, he'd say so.
Yeah.
And that he wouldn't try to hide it.
What do you mean he doesn't remember? He's just confused.
Gonta told us he was bad with computers, remember?
Memory or no memory?
Oh, this.
Gonta never hurt anyone!
No way
Gonta's
Gonta's the culprit!
Uh-oh. Well, it's probably going to be the device. Oh.
Gonta never hurt
Device
anyone!
instructions, I think.
Yeah,
Doesn't remember
Gonta
a
wants
thing
to keep
about the
everyone
virtual world.
safe!
I'm paying attention to Kaito.
got it.
You did it, but you
Gonta
don't
would
remember
never
doing
kill
it,
a
right?
friend.
If there was a glitch,
something you
Gonta
can
is
just
gentlemen!
assume?
Gentlemen, protect
it should
friends!
have affected
I
our
mean,
Argh.
that
Your
before.
lies aren't protecting anyone.
But because we're all
Gonta
okay,
can't
Gonta
kill
not
Nessa.
lying!
Blah, 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 blah.
Gonta swear! Please believe
There was a
Gonta!
glitch? No, there was no... Whoops. Hit the wrong thing. There was no glitch, is what Kaito...
That's what Kaito said. But there's a chance that some kind of glitch might...
Yeah, that's it. Oh, the
Okay.
last one that Kaito had,
Well,
isn't it?
well, it's either this one or Avatar glitch.
Where there was an avatar glitch?
Yes, Avatar glitch was one of the truth bullets. Go to him. I'll show you. Avatar error.
Well, I mean...
I think it's the device settings. Or
Yeah, because we haven't used the device settings in any case. There's a chance a glitch might occur. He says there's no glitch, here's a glitch.
Yeah.
Because we've just messed with the error, so... Okay.
Gonta never
you
hurt
turned
anyone!
Remember,
The
because-
others didn't have
Doesn't remember
anything.
a
Gonta wants
thing
to keep
about the
everyone
virtual
safe!
Isn't he
You
just
did it, but you
Gonta
don't
would
remember
never
doing it,
kill a
right?
friend.
If there was a
Isn't that
glitch,
something you
Gonta
can
is
just
gentlemen!
assume?
Gentlemen, protect
it
friends!
should have affected all of
That's
us.
what happened
Your lies aren't
Yeah, now looking at what
But
Kaito's
because
saying...
we're all
Gonta
okay,
can't
Gonta
kill
not
Nessa.
lying!
that means there was...
Okay.
I heard it!
Terrible shot, too. I didn't even come close.
The cause of the error that affected Gonta's avatar
And with that, we've literally gone through all the evidence.
is the 2 cords on the helmet used to log into the virtual world.
So it's pretty much just climax time. Put the red consciousness cord in the right port and the blue memory cord in the left.
Out of curiosity, what happens if you switch the cords?
I don't know, I've never done that before. Probably gets all glitchy or something. Who'd switch the cords? Come on.
I think that Gonta messed up something with the cords, causing the error.
If he mixed the consciousness and memory cords, then there'd be an error with memory. Like an error that won't let you bring your avatar's memories to the real world?
Right.
What?
Gonta, do you think it's possible that you improperly connected the cords?
Does he know right from left?
Yeah.
Huh? How Gonta's supposed to remember that?
He couldn't have messed it up. I said it over and over.
Gonta not know how to eat with chopsticks.
Yeah.
Right is the hand you hold your chopsticks in.
Oh, but Gonta holds chopsticks with this hand.
Oh no!
Gonta's left-handed.
Oh
no! Is it Himiko's fault?
No.
That's your left hand!
She could really easily blame herself, though.
Yeah, I guess she could.
Because she did say it over and over.
What?
It's not really her fault.
Yeah.
Looks like it's decided.
It was like a childish habit, like because she does very much act like a child,
Right.
Because teenagers are children.
Yes.
Some of them more so than others.
Uh-huh.
And it's like the same sort of cute gag that she's always had, and she's clearly like really sheltered. So it just was right in character for her to do something like that.
What's decided?
Well, I always felt like she was saying that more for her benefit than
She was.
anyone else's. So
She was.
Yeah, so she shouldn't blame herself.
You could, though. You really easily could.
He's wrong, isn't he, Gonta? You remember the virtual world, don't you?
Gonta not remember. Gonta not even go to this virtual world place.
What?
Gonta fall asleep when he put helmet on. When Gonta wake up, Mew dead. Gonta not know what happened.
He didn't fall asleep. He just has no memories of it. So if his consciousness just blacked out, then that's how he'd interpret it.
Yeah.
So, Gonta worry. Gonta not understand what everyone talking about.
And Gonta weirdly doesn't have the confidence to say something like that because, like we've said before, he also has this kind of benign egotism.
Yeah.
It's not like malicious or really even bad, but
The idea that because he's so big and strong, he has to protect everyone else.
yeah, that he can, in fact, influence everything and change the structure of all the world because him doing something will make things happen.
Yeah.
And all it actually does, it's like only good intentions are behind that, but all that it actually ends up doing is making him miserable because he hasn't accepted that there are some things that he cannot change. And combined with like a weird not loss of confidence, a weird level of low confidence, like he's only confident in his body and nothing else, it just means that he wouldn't jump in to keep saying, hey, I really have no idea what happened.
Yeah, he wouldn't be assertive enough.
Yeah, assertive, that's the word I was looking for. But if he did say that...
Like he's used to feeling like the dumb one and everyone else knows what they're talking about?
I think so, don't you?
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm taking it.
Like, I don't think that he's ruined by it.
No, but it's definitely a problem.
It's way more serious than we ever thought that it would be. Then again, maybe it's only really bad like this under pressure.
No, it can't be.
But Gonta try his best to understand. Gonta imagine real hard.
That's enough, Gonta. We already know.
Because when you listen to this, then you go, oh, it really could have happened that way.
Know what?
We know that you totally forgot about teaming up with me and killing Mew.
Wait a minute! That lie! Gonta not kill Mew! Cause why would Gonta do that?
This is also something that has not happened in Danganronpa before.
What, someone killing someone and then forgetting about it?
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, we've said the whole time that short of trying to defend Kokichi or somehow being ordered to do it, I just don't understand how it would have happened.
Well, if switching up the memory cord makes your memories not follow you into the virtual world, then switching up the consciousness cord might not allow your consciousness to follow you into the virtual world. which means it's very possible that whoever was at the helm of Gonta's avatar wasn't Gonta, or like, not the Gonta we understand.
Yeah, no, that is something that could happen.
In which case, is Gonta really at fault?
Well, we'll have to find out. The thing is, if he had just beaten her to death, I understand the homogeneity of the Avatar's characteristics. But if Gonta had beaten her to death, it would have made more sense. It's that he did it with toilet paper.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
That's what makes you really kind of wonder about what is going on and why it would turn out like that. That's why I think he might have just been ordered to do it. And as we've already established in Danganronpa, that makes you culpable. The person who does it, even if they're following an order. The only problem with the self-defense thing is, or defending Kokichi, because it very well could have been that Kokichi did get touched.
Yeah. And then, Miyu raises the hammer, and then Gonta intervenes with his roll of toilet paper. But let's not worry about that right now.
But if that happened, then why would he have gone so far as to kill her?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a lie! I'll never accept this! And besides, Gonta's got no motive to kill Mew!
I already gave you my testimony on how I came up with the murder plan.
And I'm saying I don't believe you!
Kokichi, if what you're saying is true, why did you plan it this way? You wanted to plan the murder yourself, but have someone else carry it out?
Yeah, that way he lives.
Yeah!
Is the person who planned it also included as a blackened with the perpetrator?
Well, these are rules that you should have had clarified a long time ago.
Nope! Only the person who actually commits the murder becomes the blackened!
Precedent.
Then there's no incentive to just plan the murder.
Unless you find it amusing.
Exactly.
But Gonta's such a gentle soul. Why would he agree to this?
Hold on, that hasn't been decided yet.
Who cares about the motive? Let's vote for the culprit already.
No. You don't get...
I care about the motive.
Yeah, you don't get to just dictate the pace of this, you little troll.
Well, I don't care. Finding the culprit is more important in this class trial. Talking about the motive is meaningless. It's not necessary for this specific case.
In a way, he's right. It's not generally necessary, but if you don't know the motive, you'll never be satisfied.
Right.
No matter what you say, I'll never believe your lies.
Furthermore, it's very clear that everyone's not going to vote for Gonta unless you can find a motive that they believe.
Yeah.
We all agree that Gonta is the culprit, right? It would be impossible for anyone but him.
That is completely true. That alone.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That alone should make it clear.
Impossible? Why?
It's pretty obvious if you use the process of elimination. Which means, Shuichi, you'll be my partner, right?
Me?
Because if you don't face the truth, then we'll all die, right?
Ah, well, yes, it's true.
And you don't want that, do you?
Uh-huh. And now we're gonna have to argue for Gonta. But it's true.
Okay, let's begin!
No. I know this is your trial, but this is not your trial.
Quit screwing around! I'm done putting up with your selfish bullshit!
Kaito, we should listen to his explanation. Our lives depend on it.
I understand how angry he is, and he's not wrong to be angry. I really don't see what the problem of beating the crap out of Kokichi... I don't see why we shouldn't do that.
At this point, he's earned it.
Yeah, beat the crap out of him, tie him up, and throw him in a room, and don't ever let him out. Go in there and feed him. It's got to be supervised.
Yeah.
Either that, or before the conclusion of this trial, kill him.
You know, that would save Gonta, wouldn't it?
No.
Wouldn't it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, he'd be, it would be a wasted death. There would be no blackened for it. It's just that there would be no punishment for it. And just like we said last time, I'm not necessarily sure I am arguing for this, but you might save some lives if you kill him. And in that case, you can make a case.
Yeah.
But at the very least, you can't let him walk around. In any case, I got distracted. The point is just because you're mad doesn't mean that you can just do nothing but berate the other guy. You have to actually engage with what he says. I mean, I guess you don't have to in real life, but in a trial, you probably ought to.
So, we can now take Keyboy, Himiko, and Maki off the suspect list. Shuichi, would you care to explain? I doubt they'll believe it if it came from me.
Right? The reason Kibo, Himiko, and Maki can be eliminated as suspects is because they all have alibis. They were all in the same place and knew where their location was.
And couldn't get to the rooftop of the mansion.
Yeah. There we go. They couldn't access the crime scene.
They couldn't get to the crime scene, could they?
The bridge from the chapel to the mansion was gone, and only Mew could pass through the wall.
So that leaves 4 people it could be.
The 3 at the chapel had no way to get to the mansion, so they couldn't have done it. Kaito is the next one off our suspect list. And you know why, right?
I like how we have literally been arguing this point the whole time, and then Kokichi ends up walking us through it.
I really love how this trial has turned out so far, how Kokichi has just completely stolen the reins, and even the flow of the trial is drastically different.
It's really fascinating. Quite good, quite good.
I hate you, Kokichi, so much.
I really like the guy. Oh, he's awful. I was just saying that, maybe we should kill him, or, like, at the very least, beat him up, tie him up, throw him in a room, and give him supervised feeding. Okay? But I really like him. That doesn't mean that I approve of him.
I like him as a character and for what his role in the narration is, but I hate him so much.
I'd actually probably get along with him. Well, I probably would. I mean, I'd think...
Answer the question!
Oh, yeah, I guess I ought to answer the question.
Don't pontificate when there's a timer!
Kaito had logged out ahead of us.
I will, and you can't stop me! That's why we've gotten to B on the closing argument.
Mew logged Kaito out from the start. But she did that to make us think the murder happened in the real world, right?
Yeah, I do think I'd get along with Kokichi, but he'd be one of those people that I really don't like, but nonetheless could get along with.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Since we figured out the actual killing happened in the virtual world, it would have been impossible for Kaito, who had already logged out. Mew's time of death was around 6:30 in the morning. That's after Kaito logged out.
Kokichi's completely running the show now.
Oh, he was from the beginning.
In every trial, he's done stuff to try and change it and to try and entertain him.
Mm-hmm.
My synergy with Shuichi is super on point now, so let's move on to the remaining suspects. Gonta, Samugi, Shuichi, and me. Samugi and Shuichi can be crossed off. But what's the reason for that?
Alibis.
Yeah. He's not even doing the I've got it.
Yeah.
Tsumugi and I are witnesses to each other's alibis.
Both of you heard Mew hitting the chapel wall, right?
Yeah, we were there, like together.
The culprit was definitely on the roof during that time, since they slid Mew down. Because of that, Shuichi and Samugi can't be the culprit. That leaves only Gonta and me as the remaining suspects.
And it can't be Kokichi.
Because of the avatar settings.
There's no way that he would have been able to prevent her from touching him, given the way she died.
Yes.
Then you're the culprit!
You can't even say that Miyu wouldn't have tried to touch him because she specifically knew that if she touched him, he'd be paralyzed.
Yeah.
So she knew that if she was being strangled, she could stop him strangling her if she just flailed and, like, leapt herself bodily backward and could just touch him in any way. So she would have had a super desperate struggle, and if all it takes is contact, there's no way Gonta could have stopped her from touching him.
Yeah.
If it was touching Gonta.
So, speaking of Gonta, the fact that Kaito is looking directly at him while saying then you're the culprit is kind of messed up.
Well, you knew what he meant.
No, I know. I'm just putting that out.
Sorry for getting your hopes up, but didn't I already explain that's impossible?
Well, no.
You couldn't have killed me.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you put it. Because of what we discussed.
If Mew touched him, he'd freeze in place. Kokichi wasn't capable of strangling her.
So then, it's down to one person. And who was that again?
I like how we were even talking about this. Like, we don't have to prove a motive or anything. It's just the process of elimination, and then Kokichi goes through the process of elimination.
Well, the memory loss has struck again because I even already praised that exact same thing.
What?
However, I agree with you. You're right.
Well, who is it?
You know, we haven't put ourselves in Gonta's shoes here. This must just be the most horrible thing.
Yeah.
Don't answer, Shuichi. You don't need to answer that. This is all Kokichi's trap.
But it's true. I don't know how, but I wish he'd explain it. It's just beating him up. It's awful. You know, I know where it's going to go in the end. Gonta's going to end up being convinced that he did it. And he's going to be like, as gentleman, I will protect everyone here. And he will accept his fate. But, it's just awful, you know? There's only one suspect left. Only one person could have done this.
And he's just making us do it.
Man, I really get it.
It's Gonta.
Gonta's just crying because he'd never do anything like this. I mean, what do you do if you do the thing that you'd never ever do, have to die for it, and don't even know you did it? But what do you do in the context of a class trial? It's him or everybody else. Now, maybe you want to make the pact that, okay, well, this is unjust, so we should all die in protest. Okay.
Well, you better take everyone else's vote into consideration.
Yeah, but if you got one person who don't agree with that, then there's a serious problem here.
I mean, if everyone else was like, oh yeah, no, we'll totally die for Gonta, hey, I would take it.
I mean, I wouldn't be happy, but that's a legitimate path.
Yeah.
But it's one you have to choose.
Shuichi?
Yep, Gonta is the only person who could have committed the murder. You get it now, right? That's the truth we were all reaching for. The thing you guys wanted so badly! A truth without any lies!
He says that, but it's just sour grapes.
Oh, 100%.
You see, even if he hadn't have gotten so mad at being lied to and like kind of having his worldview challenged a bit in a way that he didn't really approve of. Because, you know, he's had several moments where he's like, well, we just see things differently. But this is the trial in which he really kind of blew up about it. But the thing is before that happened, if that wouldn't have happened, if he wouldn't have gotten all pissy about it, things still would have turned out this way.
Yeah.
He already intended to punish them for their wrongness. That's why he set up the trap to murder Miyu.
It's just he wouldn't be enjoying it so much.
Well, he's mad. He missed the trial that he wanted. And again, he's not proving that he's right.
No.
He had to set up the entire thing, including with Monokuma, and go to such lengths to make it happen and then even run the trial in order to prove his point.
Maybe that's what's really got him angry.
99% of the time, it is completely impossible that Gonta would ever murder one of his classmates.
Yeah.
But there is a chance that if you essentially, like
control all the variables at every step of the way,
you can force him to do it. But you can't blame it on him at that point.
Yeah.
You weren't right. It was like, see, even a trusted friend would kill when I play God with the entire scenario. That's your fault, Kokichi, not Gonta's. Kokichi isn't proving his point. It's just petty. It's ridiculous. But the rules of the trial are the rules of the trial, and that sucks.
Yu Iruma's killer is Gonta Gokuhara!
Really? Did Gonta really do it?
Jeez, is that really your reaction? It would have been fun if you went all crazy.
Yeah, but he's not crazy.
Yeah, that's not the kind of person he is.
But you forgot everything, so oh well.
Like, the only reaction he'd have is, that's so horrible, how could I have done it? How? I don't understand, self. How could I have done this? That's his response, because he'd never do it!
A culprit who can't remember their murder is pretty interesting. So, better than nothing. If Gonta remembered, his cover would have been blown so fast.
See?
Especially since he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Kokichi even knows that the trusted friend would do the right thing.
Hold on. I still haven't accepted this. This has gotta be Kokichi's trap.
It is Kokichi's trap.
I still believe in Gonta. He's not the kind of person who'd kill.
I believe in him too. And I believe in what Kaito said.
Kaito.
But that's just not how things turned out. And the worst part is the only person who can tell us how things turned out is Kokichi.
And why would he do that? To give them closure? Why would he want them to have any closure?
Well said. He has literally no reason to ever explain what he did. I'm sure he will, because the players demand closure.
Yeah.
I already said this a million times, Kaito. You shouldn't use emotions to
You want proof? I've got your proof! After Tsumugi and Shuichi heard Kibo's voice in the mansion, they ran outside. And who did they see out there?
Also, I hit a button. I gotta make sure I didn't skip something. Okay. That advanced on its own. But I thought I might have skipped.
Oh! Shuichi and Tsumugi!
I see. Gonta, did you see Kibo around here anywhere?
No, Gonta not see him.
Gonta.
Because he was acting weird the whole time.
Well, yeah, but Kokichi could have been the one who set up the lattice and then pushed her off, and then Gonta could have ran off to... He was looking at the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Kokichi could have been like, here, go throw this somewhere.
Yeah, I also thought that Kokichi had to have been the one to sled Miyu off, because he actually knew how Miyu could get over there.
Right.
Because otherwise you never would have done any sledding.
Right.
And Gonta would not have done that.
Kokichi said it himself. When Yu's avatar crashed into the chapel wall, the culprit must have been on the roof.
I see. If Gonta's the culprit, it'd be weird if he wasn't on the roof.
It's possible that he fled the mansion after he heard the impact.
You'd have to go through the entrance hall to get outside the mansion from the roof. Is that where Shuichi and Tsumugi ran to when they heard the crashing sound?
Then maybe he jumped off the roof.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's not possible. That rooftop was pretty high up.
Yeah, he died. How would he have gotten out?
He rappelled down the roof using the toilet paper.
I mean, he could have done it that way.
And then somehow untied it after he rappelled down.
And we still don't know exactly what happened up there.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been Kokichi.
What do you mean? Oh, Kokichi couldn't have put Miyu's body on a lattice. He'd be paralyzed if he touched her.
Oh, I don't know if that's the case or not. Honestly, don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, it could be her. It could be that the trigger is her directly touching him, and not just if they touch.
And furthermore, upon her death, that may not have.
Okay, fair enough.
May not have activated. I don't know the answer to your question. That you could possibly be right. Apparently, the answer is no. But what I mean is, Isn't it a giant waste if it actually was Kokichi and he dies here?
Yeah.
Don't you actually save this character like for the end? Unlike previous games, we don't have a big antagonist to deal with.
Yeah, it's Kokichi.
Unless Rantaro, zombie Rantaro, really is the actual antagonist. I'd be shocked.
Same here.
I'd be shocked if Kokichi dies. Or, I mean, if he dies, then maybe he'll just come right back. I don't know how that would work, but...
Something Necronomicon?
I guess there is that. But doesn't this make the game boring? That's part of why I wouldn't understand it.
I agree. I really don't think it's Kokichi.
But it's true that we don't know how Gonta got down there then.
And Kokichi doesn't seem to actually be trying to address it.
Normally, Gonta could have done it, but his avatar wasn't strong enough.
That's correct, yeah.
How about that? Now you get it, right? If Gonta was the culprit, there's no way he could have been outside the mansion.
Regardless, well done, Kaito. Even if that argument is wrong...
Good eye for detail.
That's good. We hadn't thought of that. Nobody else had thought of that. And it's strong enough to actually kind of shape me and make me wonder if it's true. I'm still wondering if it's true. So well done.
Now you can't say Gonta's the culprit. Congrats, Gonta.
What? Really?
It would have been so nice if that were the truth. If Kaito were right, and this horrible trial would just end. And that it would end with the obvious bad guy getting his just desserts. But...
No, that's wrong.
What?
Just because Gonta was at the mansion doesn't mean that he isn't the culprit. All the culprit needed was a way to get from the roof to outside the mansion.
Huh?
Looks like Shuichi got it. I'll leave the rest to him.
I'm sorry. If it turns out that he rappelled down the side of the mansion...
Tying the toilet paper to the binoculars?
I am going to gloat. It is going to be the greatest gloat of all time.
You've only been saying that since you saw the toilet paper at the bottom of the wall but underneath the binoculars, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
yeah.
I
didn't say that right away. God, look how sad he looks.
Kaito, I know how you feel. I know because we all feel it.
And he's trying to drive a wedge between Shuichi and the others by making Shuichi do this.
That's why I say it can't be him. Because this is the thing that has to be defeated in order to win the killing game. You have to defeat the idea of the killing game itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the final Danganronpa. The one where you have to defeat the conceit of Danganronpa.
Right.
But we have to face the truth. No matter how cruel that truth may be, we need to face it to survive.
Whose side are you on, Shuichi?
Kaito, please.
Come on.
Aren't you my sidekick? Was that just a lie?
This is Kokichi's trap, Kaito.
Yeah!
And unfortunately, Kaito does know that Shuichi will lie.
Kaito!
Fine then! I'll tear that sorry reasoning of yours apart and wake you up!
Okay. I can't doubt my detective work now. If I want us all to survive, I can't back down.
What?
I see.
I'll never accept this! Don't you know Gonta at all?
Holy shit.
He's not the kind of guy who kills someone.
I want to look at the thing!
Don't you know that about him by now? I'll never accept this! Don't you know Gonta at all?
I want to look at his suit.
Why won't you believe
That's
Gonta?
Cute. This is so
Why are you
freaking
listening
sad.
to Kokichi? Aren't you my sidekick?
Okay, like that. Ah!
Wake up,
I had the
Shuichi!
wrong order.
Why won't you believe Gonta?
Ah!
Why are you listening to Kokichi? Aren't you my sidekick?
Ah!
Wake up, Shuichi!
Ah!
Why won't you believe Gonta?
Brain!
Why are you listening to Kokichi?
Hang in there, David.
Aren't you my sidekick? Wake up, Shuichi! Damn it!
The order is so hard, too.
Who do you want to believe?
Oh my god, he's wearing cloth. Like from Saint
Remember
Seiya.
what Kokichi
Sorry.
has done to us! Remember how Gonta's always tried to protect us!
I'm sorry, I looked at the cloth.
Gonta be the culprit! Still want to accuse him, huh?
Jesus!
Keep saying the truth this, the truth that, but there's a reason Gonta's not the culprit!
Holy!
Who do you want to believe?
Who do I want to believe? I want to
Remember what
believe
Kokichi has
Gonta.
done to us! Remember how Gonta's always tried to protect us! How
This
could
is
Gonta be the
ridiculous.
culprit? Still want to accuse him, huh? Keep saying the truth this, the truth that, but there's a reason Gonta's not the culprit! Who do you want to believe? Remember what Kokichi has done to us!
I hate this so much.
Remember how Gonta's always tried to protect us!
I feel so
How could
bad.
Gonta be the culprit? Damn it! There's no way to leave the mansion from the
Discovered
rooftop!
toilet paper outside of the mansion.
Who do you want to
Oh,
believe?
toilet paper discovered outside of the mansion. Oh my god.
Remember
Yeah,
what
I hadn't
Kokichi
looked
has
at
done
it at
to
all.
us!
I have to leave that to you because
Remember
this
how Gonta's always tried to... Damn it!
frags my brain.
There's no way
Toilet
to leave the
paper
mansion
discovered
from the
outside of the
rooftop!
mansion.
Toilet paper discovered outside of the mansion.
It ends
There's only
here.
so many ways you can word that together. This is
Damn
fancy
it!
sword bag. And now he's got a Goku or a Dragon Ball aesthetic.
Well, that looked
The
like
toilet paper we found outside the mansion.
that was like a samurai thing. Kaito has a bit of a samurai thing going on a little bit. That's kind of like the way he wears the cloak. Not the time to go into that.
Okay.
The aesthetic of that was great. I really liked it. I really want to take a look at it to see if it really did have the Saint Seiya cloth. Because, you know, you're burning your Cosmo, and that's the perfect thing.
Like, as you chipped off his armor, it looked like he was in, like, the Pegasus Ryuseiken mode. Like, this pose.
That's absolutely the appropriate thing for an astronaut.
Yeah.
Like burning the universe within you.
That's what the culprit used to get from the roof to the ground.
God, it made me feel so awful. With Kaede, you know, she was just like, I'm a horrible person and you should hate me. And that's what her armament was. But here he was like, how can you do this? How can you do this?
The toilet paper?
Oh my God.
Now it's time to go from despair to gloating.
Okay. Okay. Do you understand? I got the repelling with the toilet paper right. I did. I got it right. I was right. I wasn't wrong.
Anyway.
The same toilet paper that was used as the murder weapon.
And I'm going to bring this up in the future, too.
That's why we didn't find it anywhere else. Not at the scene of the crime, nor on Mew's body. It was outside the mansion.
When we first saw it, I thought it was weird that it was just like discarded over the edge.
Uh-huh.
But I even did only bring up the repel with the toilet paper as a joke. But I did it more than once.
Hold on. If they use the toilet paper as a rope to get down from the roof, then they need to tie it to something. But there was nothing to tie it to.
Binoculars!
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Who's the dummy now?
I know because I investigated the roof.
Well, that's not fair. You're up against Kaito.
Well,
You're stubborn, Kaito. You're still going on about this.
oh, that, you know, that like really determined, really manic way that he looked. he was even bringing up his job before he got. Feels so bad, not just for Gonta, but for Kaito. I suppose this is also showing that Kaito himself isn't crypto-wise.
Yeah.
That he actually is kind of foolish about this sort of thing. I mean, this type of stubborn foolishness that lends itself to the right results and for the right reasons is normally what we call kind of like a typical shonen anime protagonist. It's not like an unappealing trait.
Right.
It's just right here. It's being subverted. This is so good. I could go on for a long, long time. But we need to move on. I'm just really impressed with this.
Of course I am! I'm gonna believe in Gonta till the very end!
No, there was something that the toilet paper could have been tied to.
Gloat!
What?
Yeah, the place where the toilet paper was tied down was the binoculars, bitches!
There! The binoculars on the rooftop. The toilet paper could have been tied there.
I can't believe it!
Kaito can't either.
However, I don't think the culprit actually tied it down there. They just hung it.
That way they can shake it loose. Oh,
and
or
then
like
used
that.
the doubled up toilet paper to climb down.
And then this means that he rolled up the toilet paper completely into a full roll.
Whoa! How do you do that? That's really hard. Billy, go get a roll of toilet paper. We're gonna try this.
No!
Well, okay.
That's expensive.
Yeah, you're right.
But in that case, they would have had to tug on it in order to take it down.
God damn it. This is so serious, but I'm filled with elation about...
Yep, that's correct, because I came up with that idea.
Really?
But I thought I told Gonta to put the toilet paper back in the bathroom.
He wouldn't have been able to make it anyway.
Yeah, well, Gonta could have had it in his pocket or something.
Oh, I guess he ran into someone on the way and then threw it somewhere close by.
Or that.
Yeah, it's got to have been that just as he lost his memory, he lost his consciousness as well. And so it was just like a robo-Gonta.
Yeah.
He was acting really weird.
He was!
And I guess he was acting like flat. I mean, we were like, he's so suspicious that whole time.
Looks like Kaito's morale is shot, so this whole thing is done now.
That'll teach you to punch me and say that everything about me and the way that I believe is wrong.
You and everything you believe in is wrong.
Maybe not everything. For instance, I'm sure he believes that the world is round.
All right, I'll concede points like that. But in a general sense.
The matter does appear to be settled.
It's...
Yeah.
Do we even need to make a closing argument?
Yeah.
So, it's true. Going to really kill Mew.
For the ritual, if nothing else. And, I mean, it might help with some wavering votes.
But I'm the one who came up with the plan. Anyway, just admit your crime, Gonta. Even though you don't remember, you still did it.
But why did Gonta do such terrible thing?
Because he would never have done it. He wouldn't have killed her for self-defense.
Yeah.
Or defending somebody else. But you don't accidentally strangle someone to death with toilet paper.
Wait, before you start crying, you gotta admit your crime first.
Stop.
Yeah. Dude, do you think I was joking about everybody beating the shit out of you, tying you up, and throwing you in a room?
Oh, no.
No, I wasn't.
I won't let you, Kokichi. If anyone is going to get him to confess...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's me.
You little troll. You little goblin. At the very least, allow him his dignity at the end. The dignity that you stole from him. Oh, under the rules of this trial, he's the blackened, and he has to be punished for it. But the fact that we're in this game itself is the problem. The only thing that any reasonable person would take from this is that you killed Miyu.
Yeah!
To be fair, she was going to kill you. But in terms of who did it, it was Kokichi. Just in terms of the rules, it was Gonta.
Gonta, I'm going to look back at the whole case one more time, okay? When you're convinced, you just let me know, all right? Let's end this together.
Okay.
It's so unjust.
I don't want to do a closing argument.
Okay. Toilet paper that doesn't tear. Cell phone, bottle of poison.
Oh, that would be bottle of poison.
There it is. What button do I hit? I can't remember.
Oh, you're not on the thing though. You gotta move that reticle.
There we go. What? Oh, I see. You can do it. What? Why can't it? There we go. I'm an idiot. Anyway, now that I've moved on and I'm no longer consumed by idiocy. What's the other one I got? Cell phone and toilet paper. Whoa! Neat.
Cell phone. You see her pulling it out right there.
Part of me, I really want to like look at the art, but I've just got to ignore it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Also, if you play a lot of games, you know, you do run into basic control shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, lattice.
There's one more zero.
Oh, there. Okay. Map of the virtual world.
Yeah, that was near the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, and Kaito logged out.
Ah! I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
And lattice. And
oh, right there, right there.
Yep. And hammer.
Yeah.
I like how there's a lot, like this one's kind of more involved.
Yeah.
But it has the same number of... Man, we're just saying nothing.
Well, we're kind of... we don't really want to linger on this, you know?
Yeah. That's also why we're succeeding.
Yeah. It's really hard to play dogs at the same time.
It really is. I mean, if you're doing well, okay, in the right port. Wow, that's hard.
Well, that's the only one that talks about the chords.
Yeah, it's like there could have been a you have to get it right, you know? Investigating the kitchen.
No, she was in the dining room.
Okay, let's see. Tsumugi's in the dining hall. Yeah, Shuichi was supposed to be investigating the kitchen. Investigating the roof was poor Kaito. At least he found the binoculars. And outside, look at that picture. And via process of the elimination, the gloat.
This is the truth of the case! The case began last night.
This is really amusing, too.
That's kind of what makes it hard.
After being convinced by Mew, we all logged in to the virtual world.
Yeah.
To log in, you have to plug the memory and consciousness cords into the device.
Wasn't I saying at the time that somebody needs to run around and check everyone?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, thoroughness. Thoroughness.
So, we all plugged those cords into our helmets and entered the virtual world. But the culprit had accidentally plugged their cords into the wrong ports. Because of this, a connection error occurred between the culprit's brain and their avatar. As a result, the culprit would forget everything that happened in the virtual world.
Oi!
It's possible that this had an effect on their avatar's personality as well.
Don't flip us off!
Hey! Yeah, that's the only way to explain this. Meaning Kokichi's plan wouldn't have worked.
Yeah!
That's why I had wondered if Gonta maybe didn't make a mistake and was set up. But didn't Kokichi say he was planning to murder Miyu after he found out she was going to kill him?
I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't at that point. Because he wouldn't have done it himself. He wants the game to go on.
Yeah.
Even the part where everyone hates him is also entertaining to him.
Because I can't believe that someone so kind could commit murder. But we had no idea this error even happened. And so, we all logged in one by one.
And nobody paid enough attention to him. Partially that was because Kokichi snapped him up right away.
Right. Yeah, see, that just makes that even more suspicious.
Doesn't it?
Meanwhile, Mew was the last to log in. She had modified the killing game simulator so she could accomplish a specific goal. After Mew confirmed we were all logged in, she took out the bottle of poison and placed it on Kokichi's seat. This was done to make it look like Kokichi was killed by poison when we returned. Yes, the reason Mew modified the simulator and brought us to the virtual world was to kill Kokichi in the virtual world, but make it look like he had died in the real world.
It was a pretty good plan.
After we had all logged in, Mew explained the world to us.
Those avatars, I can't.
Use the salon phone to log out. Objects are unbreakable. Your avatars use all 5 senses.
It would have been hard to investigate. There would have had to have been somebody is going to have to give us some types of information, or it's not possible to solve this. And it's not fair if we don't get computer information.
Right.
That would have had to have been the attack they would have gone on. I love Kibo's face. I want to see Himiko's. She was so proud of it.
She also explained the map of the virtual world in the mansion's entrance hall.
Yeah, this was a way better plan than Korekiyo's.
But her explanation was intentionally false. She wanted us to misunderstand the world.
Well, he was a freaking lunatic, so I don't even know what he thought he was doing.
However, one of us was able to see through her scheme.
Only because she talked to him ahead of time.
Right.
The very person Mew was trying to kill, Kokichi. Kokichi was going to use Mew's plan against her and plotted her murder. But Kokichi wouldn't do it himself. He used a patsy to be the culprit in this case. Kokichi was tight-lipped about the motive, so I don't know why the culprit agreed.
Yeah, we gotta find that out.
We'll find it out in the wrap-up.
Yeah.
But it seems as though right after logging in, when Kokichi and the culprit went outside, they were already working together to execute the murder. Eventually, we met up with Kokichi and crossed the river to the chapel. Mew had us split up to try to find some secret of the outside world. Kaito, Kokichi, Gonta, Tsumugi, and I investigated the mansion, while Maki, Himiko, Kibo, and Mew investigated the chapel. Splitting us up was also part of Mew's plan. At the chapel, Mew told Maki that she was going to look around outside. She chased after our group while we were heading toward the mansion.
What a very 90s run.
Yeah, yeah. Oops!
Once she made sure we were across, she dropped the bridge into the river. This was to trick us into thinking that the river separated the mansion and chapel.
And because she's crazy, people would believe that she would do something so pointless.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is very, very 90s.
At the time, we thought nothing of it. It was just another one of Mew's pranks. That's why we continued with the original plan to find the secret of the outside world. We went to the mansion
Very
and
nice.
split up
I
to
like
look
this.
for clues. Kokichi searched the salon.
I think that they ought to have extended the clock up, though. I think it would have made a better visual.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that it matters.
Kaito searched the roof.
You know, Danganronpa is all about aesthetics, and this really gets it.
Tsumugi searched the dining room. I searched the kitchen.
For 2 seconds and left.
Something was bothering me.
And finally, the culprit searched outside the mansion. Around that time, Mew was headed for the wall that was on the side of the chapel.
In Granzort, which is not actually a very good show. Like 1989, 90, it was one of the shows that kind of brought in the 90s and like the way that anime was going to work in the 90s, which was really different from the 80s. Anyway, in Granzort, even when they were being serious, they always ran like that. It was silly.
She passed through the wall and headed for the mansion to kill Kokichi. You see, the wall was a special wall that Mew had added herself.
I would have liked to have seen what they could see.
Yeah.
You know, it probably would have been more interesting if what we saw looked more like this and less like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have looked like Animal Crossing, like for just a few seconds, and then... Well, I also think that the plan would have been less suspicious. Anyway.
If we could see everything a bit better.
This wall was programmed so that only objects could pass through.
Well, if we could see things the way that they saw them, maybe we wouldn't have thought the wall thing was so ridiculous.
Good point.
And Mew had changed her avatar settings from human to object. That was the hidden route she prepared for herself. She set up a wall that only she could pass through. Mew headed toward the mansion, but she was seen by Tsumugi on the way. When she entered the mansion, she pulled out her cell phone.
If she just would have been smart enough to like crawl on her hands and knees past the window, we might not have been able to solve this.
But she wasn't.
Like Himiko said, Miyu was really smart, but she was also really, really dumb.
She didn't tell us that there was another way to log out. Then, she spoke a name into the phone, which forced that person to log out. It was Kaito who was on the roof at the time. The same roof where Kokichi and Mew were going to meet. By having Kaito search the roof and then forcing him to log out, She was making him look the most suspicious, but her plan didn't go smoothly. Kokichi was waiting on the roof with a culprit and the toilet paper used to kill Mew.
That is not the hammer she had on her. She had a ball-peen hammer. That is some sort of toy hammer.
That is correct. You are right.
Suspension of disbelief ruined.
While Mew was distracted by Kokichi, the culprit snuck up from behind.
So did she touch him? Why is she raising the hammer all dramatically?
Well, because that's like a 90s anime girl about to hit guy with hammer pose.
Oh, no, I understand that, but she has to touch him first.
That's true. I don't know. Ugh.
And used the toilet paper from the mansion's bathroom to strangle Mew.
Again, it's suffering. It just goes on for so long. Ugh. I'd say what a way to go, but, I mean, sign me up for the good way.
Yeah.
This was only possible because objects in the virtual world are unbreakable. Mew's avatar was strangled to death, and the shock killed Mew in the real world. After the murder, Kokichi left the cleanup to the culprit and left the roof. He probably returned to the salon as soon as he could to avoid drawing suspicion. The culprit then took the lattice from the storage room and placed Mew's body on top along with the hammer and the cell phone. The culprit heaved the lattice over the railing and forcefully slid it down the roof slope.
I like how the roof now has a much sharper angle to its slope.
With a body on top of it, the lattice became a makeshift sled.
Whoops.
And got interrupted.
And flew off the roof.
It went through the wall that only objects can pass through before crashing into the chapel.
There's Hibiko!
That was the crashing sound that Kibo heard in the chapel and we heard in the mansion. Mew's wall hid the fact that the mansion and chapel were actually right next to each other.
I think that Kibo's avatar is better than hers. I don't really see why she got so attached to it.
That's magic phobic.
That's why Tsumugi and I were able to hear the crash from the mansion.
I like the little spikes by Shuichi's eyes.
His lower lashes.
Yeah.
As the final step, the culprit had to then get off the roof. Because we were at the mansion, they couldn't take the stairs or they'd be seen.
Gloat, 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 gloat.
So they used the toilet paper again to escape from the rooftop.
A fitting end for her. And the toilet paper was even used to try to evade blame.
They hung the toilet paper from the binoculars on the roof and used it like a rope to climb down.
And then, somehow Gota had enough time to re-roll the roll of toilet paper.
Once the culprit was safely on the ground, they pulled at the toilet paper to retrieve it.
And we're just gonna gloss over that re-rolling fact.
They would have returned it to the bathroom, but they ran into us as we were leaving the mansion. In a panic, the culprit tossed the toilet paper somewhere nearby. Without that one little mistake, we might never have solved this case because the culprit doesn't remember.
Yeah, if Kokichi didn't tell us, we wouldn't have solved it.
Yeah.
However, he was gonna make sure we knew by the end.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna die. Oh.
This is the truth you've forgotten, Gonta Gokuhara, the ultimate entomologist.
And I like the Code Geass pose from Shuichi as well.
Gonta, this is the truth we've reached.
Well, with that, we'll go ahead and end. Next time, we'll be very sad.